Good afternoon. It is June 7th, 2024, and today we had a range day. 45 minutes till market closes. I think it's going to turn out to be a range. Let me pull up the daily chart. So it's a doji right now, and Al Brooks said something like when the midline of the overnight range and the opening price is close to the midline. I think don't quote me on this, but he said something like it's usually gonna have like a late test of the opening price, something like that. But I do think you want to keep that in mind. Anyway, so we had this range in the overnight. And you can see that the news item created a measured move to the low side. We bounced and then we went a little lower. So we got this spike and channel down. And let's see, first entry. Yeah, you could definitely jump in on that right there. That's a failed second entry long. It's also like a second entry short. I think that's reasonable to take. And then we get a break, and it's riding that trend line right there. And then you get, this is a second entry long, so then you get a higher low. That's very aggressive, but you might be thinking that we're going to get a second leg up. Here or here. That's almost perfect. So if you go for that swing, let's say you enter, let's just say you enter here 42.25. You get about a 7-point move for 5 points of risk. So that's all right. So yeah, then we're just going up. There's not really a clear channel, and you can see that it's kind of flattening out here. So this forms a sort of like wedge top, and then you get a couple legs down. We're just going sideways, but then you get it moved up, and I'm looking at this as like a spike and channel. I don't see a way to get in this. This is really congested right here. So this is not an ideal entry by any means. However, it's off this trend line. It looks like a two-legged pullback followed by a higher low. If you look at this, it looks like a two-legged pullback. And then we go higher, sideways again, and you get a second entry long. And I mean, we're making higher lows and higher highs, so it's worth considering this, and that ends up being a really good move. Right to the overnight highs, and then you get a leg down, sideways, big bearish bar. Maybe you take that for a second leg, and it ends up being a very good move. And if you just ride that till a close on the other side of the EMA, for instance, 50. You could get 8 points out of that. So yeah, we slow down here. Would you have this trend line at this point? So you would draw this trend line, and I think here is where you would anchor it and start treating it with some respect, for lack of a better term. A little sideways stuff right here. It's probably more just this. I don't see a way to get long in here unless you're just buying because you suspect it's a trend. Come back, we can hit this midline, sell off, and then we bounce right off the trend line. Big bullish bar. Technically, it's a second entry long, but I don't like. I don't really like getting long in the middle of this leg down. I mean, I do, but with the understanding that it's aggressive. You get a higher low above the EMA, so I think, I think that's reasonable to take. A little lower, smaller risk. 9 ticks compared to this one, 15. Yeah, that's pretty significant. Then we come up here and we test the overnight highs, but, this is clearly a channel. We're making higher lows, so I mean, you get this, technically this is a second entry long, but this is the one that looks like a second entry long. So I like that. Also, this is looks like a failed second entry short. But those are aggressive. You're going into these highs. And it breaks out. The breakout fails. You get a second entry short right here, but it's very congested. And then you come down here and you get another second entry short. And I think there, with all that resistance, big bearish bar, I think you need to take that. And that turns out to be a spike and channel down. Big move. And then we reverse and you get a spike and channel up. And you can see this price level here. We come up, slight overshoot, matching high pretty much, double top, come down, new low, and then another big bearish bar right here. Right at that price level, I think you got to take that. There's room down here for at least a scalp. And that's where we're at right now. So, as always, a lot can happen in the next 30 minutes, but that's how I saw it for today. I hope everyone had a good week. I'll be back next week.